With a 10-game homestand in front of them, the AL leading Sox last night were looking to put back-to-back losses behind them, and a 2-run fifth got them headed in the right direction. Fisted over, short and down. Saladino speeds home, and it's 3-2 Sox in the fifth. But the Sox lost their 3-2 lead and eventually were beaten by an unlikely Astro. 0-2. Gaddis, a line drive to left field, and gone. And it's 6 for Houston. The extra inning heroics enabled Houston to strike first in the series opener. Tonight, Robbins sends unbeaten Matt Latos to the hill, trying to even the series at 1. Pleasant good evening from U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. It's game 2 of a 3-game series between the Central's best and the Astros out of the American League West. Good evening, Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. The Sox in April had a historically strong bullpen, an ERA sub-2, best in the majors. That has taken a turn for the worse recently.
Well, unfortunately, there was a time when this team was unhittable out of the pen. The unfortunate part is right now they're very hittable out of the pen. And let's take a look at last night. Zach Putnam had some trouble. This one shot down the line. Once again, White doing the honors, and then Altuve hits a sacrifice fly. At the time, it put the Astros up. But after fighting back, Evan Gaddis takes a line drive out of the ballpark, and that was it. Made it 6-4. They eventually lost 6-5. So take a look at the last 7 games for the bullpen. 7.78 ERA. Opponents hitting close to 300. More hits than innings pitched. 4 home runs. That's disturbing, along with 8 walks and 18 strikeouts. And unfortunately, this team is 2-5 in that stretch. And if they're going to come back, it's going to be because of that bullpen.
And even so, with the struggles recently, Sox still do have the best ERA in the American League, and Matt Latos is a part of that.
Matt Latos is undefeated. In his first 4 starts, he was absolutely brilliant. He comes into this one 5-0, and early, nobody could do anything with him. He was giving up very few hits, almost no runs, and everything was working for him. The splitter and a number of well-positioned fastballs. But let's take a look at the start, which was brilliant at 4-0. The ERA .74. Take a look at the last 3. ERA 7.63. He's given up 25 hits. That's a whopping total. More walks than strikeouts. And the opponents who were hitting 151 are now hitting 391. So he has to have a comeback tonight. He's got to keep this team out of the bullpen. And if Matt Latos is good and he's got to control the running game, then the Sox are going to be in business, going to win the second of a 3-game series.
Well, it's the best stolen base team in Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros in town. So if they're on, they're likely to go. The Sox good news is they got a guy back in the lineup. Mr. Frazier from Jersey, after the flu yesterday, makes his triumphant return, and first pitch just around the corner.
White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Beautiful night for baseball at U.S. Cellular Field. Game 2 of 3 between the Sox and the Astros. And we thank you for joining us as we get to the starting lineup for A.J. Hinch's Houston Astros, one of the best power-hitting teams in Major League Baseball. Number 2 in doubles, number 6 in homers. Altuve, Springer, Correa, the 21-year-old wonder. Then Rasmus Gaddis and Colin Moran in his Major League debut. Valbuena, Castro, and Tony Kemp in his first Major League start after his first Major League run yesterday.
Let's take a look at how Robin's going to line up the defense behind Matt Latos. It's Melky Cabrera, Austin Jackson, and Adam Eaton in the outfield. It's been a good outfield this year with Todd Frazier back in the lineup. Welcome back, Todd. Jimmy Rollins, Brett Lawrie, Jose Abreu. Deanna Navarro gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Matt Latos. Taking that 5-0 record to the hill, his ERA 3.40. You can see the hits per innings pitched, very similar. Last 3 starts have been tough for him, but looking for a bounce back against a ball club that can score some runs with the Houston Astros. The umpires for the game tonight: Dan Bellino behind the plate. Adam Hamari's at first base. The crew chief, Tom Hallion, at second, and Tony Randazzo is at third. So it's a very pleasant night for baseball. The Sox trying to increase their lead in the Central with a win here in the second of a very long homestand. And it appears we're ready to go with the diminutive Altuve in the batter's box. So, time for you to take it away.
I thought you were going to call me the diminutive Jason Benetti.
No, absolutely.
In fact, let's stand back to back and see what happens.
I think you can go to the rack on both these guys, certainly on Altuve, and I have no doubt also on Kemp.
Well, thank you. Nicest thing you've said to me all year. And we welcome our fearless producer as well. Mike Leary has joined us finally from the hockey ranks. So we'll look for 2-line passes on graphics tonight. Matt Lato's first pitch is a strike to Jose Altuve, who was 1 for 4 yesterday with an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout.
If you don't keep him off base, you're not going to be able to control the Astros because he is a premier base stealer. 15 out of 16 this year.
Strike 2 from Latos. Told you the Astros have slugged very well this year, but the batting average is low, .233, which is second worst in Major League Baseball. And in fact, that's up from last season to their start to the year. In the air, right field. Adam Eaton has to play it on a hop, and Altuve, the speedster, is on at first.
I would have to believe that they're not going to wait around too long against Matt Latos. This was right down the middle, even though it's 94, and Altuve gets a little piece of it, able to drop it in front of Eaton. So now you do have their premier base stealer on base, and that's not a good thing.
Couple chances last night for Altuve. He declined to go, and we'll see if they test the battery of Navarro and Latos here in the first. Latos, at least so far, hip to the game as Altuve is back in with Springer at the plate. Power hitting outfielder George Springer, 26 years old. Former first-round pick. Up and in, ball, no strikes.
That was a test by Altuve. He took a fake start and then put on the brakes. He wanted to see just how much he can get before Latos delivers the ball home. As you can see, he's been magnificent, leading the major leagues in that stolen base department, and the percentage is outstanding.
Latos throws over there. So as you're trying to deal with somebody like Altuve, what's Latos's best bet?
His best bet is by the boards his first time. The best bet is to make sure you get him out, because if he's on base, he's going to go, even early in the ball game.
Well, the SS keep him off has left port already. A little bit up. 2-0 on Springer, who's on a 6-game hit streak for the Astros, who come in at 16-24. They're 7 back of Seattle in the West.
Springer not the ideal number 2 hitter because he strikes out a lot. So being a swing and miss guy, 44 strikeouts this year in 40 games, A.J. Hinch knows that he has a guy in the 2 spot, but not an official 2 hitter.
Hard to come by nowadays in baseball, the official 2 hitter.
I think it really is. And when you and I were in the office with A.J. Hinch before the game, he said that guys know that they pay on statistics. And because of that, you see that important small ball played in September in the playoffs. You don't see it as much during the course of the season.
Pops the glove inside, 3-1 on Springer, with Carlos Correa on deck against Latos, who walked 5 in his last start.
What Hinch was saying was that they're going to pay you on hitting the ball out of the park, how many hits, what batting average you have, not grounding to second base to move the runner from second to third. That's still 0 for 1, and in a lot of guys' histories, they don't do a lot of that.
Ball 4, 2 on, nobody out for a bright young talented Carlos Correa. Well, it's all incentive, right? I mean, it's if guys are going to get paid for the numbers, they're going to keep trying to put up the numbers.
And I think certainly that didn't start in this era, didn't start in the last one. That's been going on for a bit now, maybe the last 30 years especially. And we have a lot of statistical quantifications for everything you do, but they still haven't quantified what hitting behind the runner means, hitting a fly ball to right field to get that man from second to third, or a ground ball to the right side. They haven't quantified that exactly yet.
Getting closer, but not yet. 2 on, nobody out. Correa, and that's a little bit up. That upper range of the strike zone so far for Dan Bellino has not been there for Latos.
It's okay if you get just down below the knee. And Correa can run, but he's grounded into 4 double plays this year.
Two 2-0 for an Astros team that has put up its second most runs in any inning in the first. They've scored 54 runs combined in the first 2 innings.
And unfortunately, you have one of the game's bright young sluggers at bat.
Former Diamondback skipper A.J. Hinch. 2-0. It is low. 3 balls, no strikes. So, Don Cooper with a watchful eye on a 3-0 from Latos to Correa, who takes and cowers out of the way of strike 1. On the Tyler White plan from last night, who dodged a couple very dramatically and also beat the daylights out of the baseball while he was at it.
He swung the bat very well, a couple of solo home runs and a double, and he scored with that double leading off the 8th inning.
3-1. Correa cracks it foul, now 3-2.
So now you have a choice, and A.J. Hinch has a choice. If he thinks Correa is going to make contact, he's going to move the runners. That's why Latos has to look back twice at Altuve. Odds are you get a bigger lead at second than you do at first, and if they are both going, it might be better to get the trailer in this case, would be Springer at second as opposed to Altuve at third.
Big early pitch here. 3-2. Correa line drive right field. That is down. Here comes Altuve, and it's 1-0 Astros before the first out tonight.
RBI number 20, and with both runners going, an ominous start to the ball game, and here comes Don Cooper as we take a look at the fastball on the outer third. Correa stays right with it. And as the skipper A.J. Hinch said, it's only a matter of time until we see something about 14 at-bats from Correa where he gets 8 to 10 hits and hits 4 home runs. He said he's on the precipice of that kind of performance, and he leads off the scoring here in the first.
Oh, A.J. Hinch said, I mean, it's not like he's hitting the ball poorly in any way. We're just waiting for that really hot time for Correa, who had 22 home runs in his first 100 games. He's the only shortstop the last 100 years to do that, with 22 homers his first 100 games in the majors.
And Altuve scores his 38th run of the year, by far the team lead in that department, as you would expect for a guy who's hitting in the 340 range and stealing a lot of bags.
So here's Colby Rasmus, who is 6 out of 11 career against Latos. Correa at first, Springer at third, nobody out first inning. Up and out.
We saw Rasmus last night, apparently uncomfortable in a matchup with Zach Duke, and he actually bunted with a man in scoring position. A rarity for a guy with 29 driven in, but he had told A.J. Hinch, if I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to lay one down, and in that at bat, at least against Duke, he felt uncomfortable, so he got a base hit.
Loaded the bases with that bunt single as Latos gets a swing and a miss from Rasmus, whose brother went on the DL yesterday. Corey, the Angels pitcher. A lot of injuries in the Anaheim area.
Well, another one that's going to affect our ball club is the Indians coming in minus Michael Brantley, who's on the DL for an indeterminate amount of time, because they're not going to rush back this injury. He had off-season surgery. It hasn't come back yet for him.
Fly ball for Rasmus. Jackson charging in hard, and Austin Jackson is there for out number 1, and not a productive out. Springer had to hold. Jackson talking to Adam Eaton about the read he got on it.
Well, this is a time of night where the infielders have to help out. Excuse me, have to help out the outfielders. You're not seeing the ball very well because the lights haven't taken hold yet. It is dusk, and so what the guys in the middle will do, if Rollins goes out or if Laurie goes out, they're going to point to the baseball. They'll probably pick it up better than the outfielders charging in.
You get very sentimental about game 2s of series. You get all choked up about it.
I do, and you know it's such an emotional time for me. But I'll battle through it.
1 out, 2 on. Runners off, throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Correa, his 7th.
I like what Laurie did, however, in that he kept the glove on the sliding Springer, on Correa rather, and the reason is because he used a pop-up slide. In a pop-up slide, there's a very good chance you're going to come off the bag, but he didn't.
Yep, held the bag the whole way. It's a tapper that's called foul by the plate umpire Bellino, and after the night that Tony Randazzo had on a possible interference, it's an early spotlight.
That would have been a huge break. That call belongs to Bellino because it's in front of the third base bag. And it doesn't matter where Navarro is. It matters where the ball is, and it looked like this ball had a good chance to be in fair territory, even though it bounces in foul territory. The spin is taking it forward. But the ball and the Navarro were in foul territory, so says Dan Bellino.
2 strikes, and Latos gets a swing and a miss. Navarro on to first, 2 down. Gaddis strikes out.
Looked like a good splitter, and Navarro did a nice job of making sure the ball didn't get away. Take another look at it. It is a splitter. It bounces right on the plate. When the ball bounces on the plate, instead of the dirt, instead of hopping, it skids. And you see that ball flatten out. Nice job by Navarro. He had the glove down, and in hockey parlance, he was covering up the 5-hole, Mike Leary, and no runs scored.
Thanks for making it easy for Mike.
Well, I mean, he's easing his way back, but I think I saw a little bit of baseball in him before the game in our meeting.
2 minutes for slashing. 2 on, 2 out, and fisted foul by Moran in his first major league at bat. The third baseman out of the University of North Carolina, who was with AAA Fresno.
A.J. Hinch said about Moran, he's very similar to John Olerud in that he's a laid-back player with intensity, but you just don't see it. He's got a very smooth stroke. He said maybe he hits a home run tonight, but he's not a home run hitter. He's a line drive hitter.
Had the 3 homers in AAA. Slugging .416 for the Fresno Grizzlies. Navarro another block. He has been, and Robin Ventura doesn't call guys this. He's not a personal catcher guy necessarily, but he has paired Navarro and Latos together all season long.
Well, look, it dates back to his time in Cincinnati when Navarro caught him, and for a stretch, and a very long stretch, covering some 75 innings, he had an ERA below 2. Now that's been put to the test the last 3 starts, but he needs a bounce back here.
1-1 on Moran. And the rookie flares it foul. 1-2.
You can pretty much tell what the scouting report said about Moran on how the first few pitches were presented to him, because they're trying to tie him up inside under his hands. So 2 of the first 3 have been inside. That one cracked his bat. He goes back for another.
First major league at bat, 2 bats for Moran.
Very expensive at bat.
1-2. Latos gets a swing and a miss. Damage minimized by Matt Latos. First 3 reached, only 1 scored after a half inning. 1-0. Runs last night. They go with this starting lineup. Todd Frazier, the bedrock, back in the middle. Eaton, Rollins, Abreu leading up to him. Then Melky Cabrera, Brett Laurie, Avi Garcia, Deanna Navarro, and Austin Jackson in the 9 position for Robin Ventura.
Let's take a look at the defense and how they're going to line up. It's Kemp, Rasmus, and Springer in the outfield, with Moran, Correa, Altuve, and Valbuena in the infield. Jason Castro gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Doug Fister. The very tall right-hander who doesn't throw hard. He does have a very good overhand curveball, and he's working on a change.
Traded a couple times in his career. Former Washington National, Detroit Tiger, among others. Is in with a strike to Eaton, who in his last 13 games has just 1 strikeout. That's exactly what you'd like out of your leadoff hitter. 0-2.
You can see fastballs in the neighborhood of 87. Maybe he tops out at 88. He's also going to throw some fastballs down at 83, but he has to have pinpoint control to be effective.
Checked it up, 1-2.
And that was probably the top of the velocity chart at 87. He tries to change eye levels, but Adam was not having any of it.
Hangs in there to foul it away. Still a ball and 2 strikes. And this, by contrast to some of the stuff we saw out of the Astros bullpen, Robin Ventura said it before the game. He was addressing an alumni group from Oklahoma State, and he said, look, they got like 3 guys in their bullpen that throw 100 miles an hour. It's a big difference from when he played, just that last era with all the arms.
Well, I think we saw the eventual closer for this team last night, and that was Giles. Although he's got around a 7-point ERA, the stuff he brought in last night was unbelievable, striking out both Rollins and Abreu with the bases loaded.
Eaton slashes this down the line. Kemp gets to it quickly. Eaton racing for 2. He is out at second base. Nice play by Kemp.
First game started, first assist, and I think if Adam had seen where Kemp was lining up, he probably wouldn't have taken off. This is down the line. Normally it's a two-base hit unless your left fielder is playing over toward the line. You see what Tony Randazzo does. Kemp does a nice job of getting to it. Accurate throw to second. The ball's waiting for Eaton to arrive, and he gets cut down. So the man in left field, starting his first major league game, makes an excellent on-target throw with his first chance.
I wonder how many people have had their first run and their first outfield assist in the majors before their first at bat. Jimmy Rollins deep to right field. Springer back. It's off the wall. This will be extra bases for the Sox. Rollins coasts into second.
Jimmy swinging the bat from the left side. He's only hitting 178 as a left-hand hitter as opposed to 500 as a righty. But this is a tailing fastball away. He's played as a pull hitter. We've seen Springer, who does have good speed, playing a very shallow right field in this series, and he can't get to it. So a promising way to start. 2 batters, 2 hits, and Rollins in scoring position.
Can't ask for much more.
Nope. And the bench is a very happy bench. I think we saw a big difference last night with Todd Frazier out of the lineup. I mean, I believe that Todd Frazier means so much to this team, forgetting about the statistics or anything else.
Well, you said, we were talking off air,
okay,
that not only power numbers and all that, just the energy, the vibe around the clubhouse isn't the same.
I think the team is very happy to have him back. He only missed the 1 game with flu-like symptoms, or the flu, whatever you choose.
He said he caught it from his son. Todd did. You pass it around. That's how it happens when you have kids.
It's a family thing. Yeah.
Sure, he's gotten it from his brothers as well. 2 baseball-playing Fraziers, Charlie and Jeff. 1-1, Abreu swings through it.
That's that big curveball that, in the good old days for Doug Fister, he used that a lot. Take a look at the hook. He doesn't want to throw it low and in. It happens to go there, and he's had a couple of very good years. 16-6 with Washington, and 14 and 9 in 2013 with Detroit.
1-2 on the ground, right side and through for Abreu. Rollins waved around. Springer up to throw. Jimmy Rollins is safe and retired.
Inside out swing for Jose Abreu, driving in his 26th run of the year. And not much of a chance for Springer. He had to respect the power of Abreu, so he was deeper in right field as Fister leaves this ball right over the middle of the plate. 88 in the middle of the plate, an inside out swing, and he takes it to right field. So 3 hitters, 3 hits, 1 run, and we're starting over again.
We're going to do the open again?
I would like to do that. I'll do the lineup this time. You do the defense.
Sounds like a plan. Just change it up. So here is Frazier, who takes low. Ball 1. First day off all year last year for Todd Frazier, and it took the flu. This year, I should say. Outside 2-0. He did have a day off last year, a couple days off last year with Cincinnati.
I don't think he wanted any the first half of the season because he was just about as hot as anybody could be. Tailed off a bit in the second half, still wound up with 35 bombs. Let's take a look at the 8 games since May 7th. 367, 5 home runs, 14 driven in. And it's certainly going to help Abreu that Todd Frazier is starting to swing the bat.
He's been great first pitches. He's been great on 2 strikes, where he is right now. He's the major league home run leader with 2 strikes this season, with 7 of them. Quick pitch there from Fister, and the count 3-2.
Valbuena is not a first baseman by trade. But to get his bat in the lineup, with Moran starting at third base, A.J. Hinch decided to play him at first, where he does a capable job.
Abreu at first, 3-2 from Pfister. It is outside ball 4. Abreu is off. 4 straight have reached for the Sox. Tell you about our picks to click for tonight's ball game. Crew, Mike Leary, Jim Angio, and everybody going with Austin Jackson. You went out on that limb, took Todd Frazier, careful, and Melky Cabrera on this side of the room.
Was that disparaging?
Only if you want it to be.
Well, here's the thing. I thought that walk was so far the biggest play of the inning, but that's just me.
So the run-scoring single doesn't do anything for you? You like a good base on balls in the first inning.
To me, that's the beauty of the game.
Especially when you're trailing. You need that walk. Castro out to talk to Pfister.
Let's try to settle him down. We haven't had a visit from Brent Strom yet, but I have a feeling if he does not retire Cabrera, and Melky has hit him pretty well over the course of his career, we're going to see a trip to the mound.
Down low, 2-0. That's a 5 out of 14 for Melky Cabrera against Pfister for the career. So the first 4 have reached. Adam Eaton thrown out from left field, trying to stretch a single into a double. And this could be 2. Altuve the feed, Correa the turn, and a double play from the Astros middle infield. Each team has a big chance. Each team gets a run. We're tied after 1. You later with all the Twitter hate that you're sending my way. Please stop with that. The big play last night, at least in a lot of ways, was the interference call that didn't come in the top of the 11th inning that led to an Evan Gattis 2-run home run. There was a lot there, Dan.
Well, there was a lot of confusion, and actually you tweeted out the rule about 40 minutes after the game, and Robin Ventura said he should have been out. A.J. Hinch on the other side said, if the play goes through, he's actually safe and goes back to first. Well, we talked to Tony Randazzo and crew chief Tom Hallion today. They said because Correa was out with the second out of the inning there, had that been the call, if they determined that it was interference, the runner would have been out, the inning would have been over. However, Randazzo said, I just felt like he didn't hinder or impede the throw to second base.
Yeah, the standard is hinder or alter, Rule 601A5. To create that interference.
Well, one of the things that you have to do as a catcher, and A.J. Hinch was a catcher, we talked to him about it, and I talked to Jason about it between innings. A catcher has to sell that call. Whether you're obstructed, interfered with, or it's just obscured on your throw, you make your throw, and then you make contact with the guy, in this case, the batter that steps across the plate. If you make some contact, it looks probably more like interference than it was, and I think that's really the key to that call. So all you young catchers out there, make some contact if it happens.
Yeah, Alex Avila was adamant about it. That he said, hey, I probably should have made contact. I probably would have had to hit him with the throw or his hand on the follow-through. He said, but look, I mean, Correa's 6'4", I'm 5'10". Obviously, he got in the way. He crossed over the plate. So the White Sox feel like, you know, they lost out on one there. And it's happened a few times. I think Robin Ventura said it was a difference of opinion with Rondazzo. Didn't get into it much beyond that.
Ground ball. Laurie throws out Valbuena, and one down. But I mean, that's the thing about the rules in Major League Baseball. You can talk to managers, they see it two different ways, and that's the deal with interference is if there's nobody who made an out impeding the play, normally the runner will just be sent back. However, with the out made, he got in the way, then that makes the runner, his teammate, out.
And the White Sox had that happen to them last year where the runner was ruled out, ended the inning, ended a potential rally, and you know, I think they were a little upset that it didn't go their way.
One question about Nate Jones. He left the ball game last night with a line drive off his foot. How's his health?
Robin Ventura said today he should be fine. He's a little sore, caught the heel of the left foot, but he expects him to be available. Of course, that's down the road here, but he did think that Jones was in good shape.
It's good to hear. Dan Hayes, great work. As there's a pop-up, third base side, that does fall in. And a base knock. Why don't you get out of here before there's a possible rally, all right?
All right, thanks.
Dan Hayes, thank you. Great work on that. Dan Hayes, our CSN insider. You can follow him all season long on csnchicago.com. Presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. That's good work by Dan. Good sleuthing.
He checked it out, and he checked it out from all angles and talked to everybody concerned about it. And as a reporter, that's what you have to do, get both sides of the story and the impressions that both people have, because you're arguing two different things. Now, I have a feeling that if A.J. Hinch were on Robin's side of the equation, he would have been arguing for the out that ended the inning.
Left side and down. Melky Cabrera gives chase on the Kemp base hit. Throw coming into third. And no play. Castro looked like he might be dead to rights, and it snuck through.
I think Melky would have been better served to get this throw into second base. The reason being that you keep the double play in order that way. So Kemp with a base hit, his first major league at bat, so he's the kid who hit 1,000. I think Melky felt that he had a shot, and unfortunately, he didn't get it. So he'll keep that baseball, and now with runners at second and third, Latos once again in some trouble.
How about Tony Kemp? Comes in as a pinch runner, scores a run late in the game in his first major league game, then throws a runner out in the bottom of the first inning of his first start. Then in the top of the second has his first major league hit, a two-base hit. Altuve on the ground. Laurie is there, comes to first, and he may have had a play at home. Castro was late leaving third. 2-1 Houston.
Well, Laurie is telling Abreu, and I think Abreu thought he was coming home. He's telling him that he took a look, didn't think he could make that play, but you're right. You have to know the speed of the man at third base, and you have to know that you got a catcher there. And you see, Castro stops. In fact, had he come home with that, he would have had him by 15 feet. But then again, he never looked at home, so he didn't know that he got off to a late start. And Jose was thinking he was going home. That's why he wasn't on the bag.
So, 2-1 Houston. And by the way, we have had our fair share of Jose's not covering first exactly as planned in this series so far. Altuve last night on the bunt when he was caught in what they say is no man's land.
Let's take a look at the reaction of Brett Laurie. He's saying he didn't see him because of the backhand. But one of the things you have to do as an infielder or outfielder, what am I going to do if the ball is hit to me, and where's the speed on the base paths? Castro doesn't have much, and that could have factored prominently into that play.
That said, it's a split-second decision, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you wait and you don't get the out at home, then suddenly it's first and third, or runs home, yada, yada.
True.
Conservative early in the game rather than
And the Sox are going to have to score multiple runs from here on out anyway. So right now they're just down by 1.
Adam Eaton on the case for out number 3. Couple of hits, 1 run on the Altuve RBI ground out. 2-1 after 1.5.
Forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And tomorrow night, Chris Sale takes the ball, looking to extend his Major League best record to 9-0. The White Sox, Astros in the series finale. Join us for the first pitch at 7 right here on CSN Chicago.
You'll be there. I'll be there. I'll see you there.
Chris Sale is must-watch pitching because he has been absolutely exceptional each and every time out.
Robin was talking about him before the game, and he said, look, I'm just glad I get to write his name in my lineup card, and I don't have to worry about facing him ever.
Right now, you just don't want to face him.
0-2 on Laurie, who leads the team in doubles and strikeouts this year. Seen a lot of pitches this season. Sox are top 10 in pitches seen.
But for the first time in a long time, the Sox have some patient hitters. They have some guys that will and do take the count late and don't worry about hitting from behind. Alex Avila, one of the more patient hitters around.
Called strike 3 on a delayed punch out.
You see where Castro wants it. And if you set up there and put the glove there, and Castro did a nice job of easing the ball back into the zone. This ball is maybe a touch off the plate. Castro did a good job of convincing Dan Bellino it might have been a better pitch than it was, and it's a called third. First strikeout for Pfister to go with a walk and 3 hits and a run.
When you talk about easing the ball back into the zone, as Avi Garcia stands in and takes ball 1, what do you mean by that?
Well, instead of yanking the glove, you just turn the wrist. And because there's no violent moves, the umpire just assumes that the ball's a pretty good pitch. So in talking with a lot of catchers, they told me that the good ones will practice just moving the wrist as the ball comes to them. It hits the glove, you tilt the wrist instead of moving the glove, and you can buy the strike. And that's exactly what happened there. I talked with Alan Ashby, the broadcaster from the Astros, and he said the best he had ever seen. Just didn't do a whole lot of that, just kind of absorbed the baseball. That was Charlie O'Brien. He said he caught it late, he caught it back in his stance, and he absorbed the baseball, make it look a lot better. And also, you can take a pitch and frame it better if you wait back and absorb it instead of reaching out for it.
Chopped foul by Garcia, 2-2, and that's part of the reason what you're describing is part of the reason why Castro is #1 in terms of pitches gained for his pitchers. They call it pitch framing. And he is #1 in baseball, according to that metric so far this year, as Garcia goes down to hunting and back-to-back strikeouts for Pfister. If you're determined to build a career in the sports industry, then you won't want to miss the White Sox Sports and Marketing Career Fair Friday, May 20th. Be there for 2 hours of networking with representatives from top sports organizations and stay to watch the game. Admission includes both the fair and a game ticket, and to purchase, visit whitesox.com/job. We are going to do some networking coming up next half inning with the lovely, venerable Christine O'Reilly, who will join us. One of the members of her department, Sarah Martin, is up here right now, dressed as Paddington Bear.
Is that a quality bear?
Yeah, Paddington's a lovely bear. She's just got the yellow rain slicker on like Paddington.
Well, I can understand it with so many clouds in the sky. And rain imminent sometime in May.
It's low, 2-0 on Navarro.
Navarro from the left side, hitting
There's your
.230. And it is a cloudless sky on a beautiful evening.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for a while. 3-0 on Navarro. However, it is not warm.
Well, it says 57 degrees on the scoreboard. And maybe up there it is.
Our mercury glass remains half full. 3-1 for Navarro. Sox had the first 4 reach in this game and got a run in the bottom of the first against Pfister. 3-1. On the ground, right-hand side, Altuve sends it out in its way for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning. To the third we go, and a special guest coming up. Invites fans to celebrate 25 years of giving with 25 for 25. Donate $25 or more now until tomorrow at 1 p.m. for the chance to win White Sox prizes, including autographed items and experiences. And they are lovely. For more information and to participate, visit whitesox.com/Sox25. So we join now the VP of Community Relations here for the Sox, Christine O'Reilly, to tell us more about the very special 24 hours, 25 hours coming up.
Yeah, it's a really neat campaign. We've never done anything like this before. So really kind of focusing on the 25-year anniversary of the ballpark, but also 25 years of community support through White Sox charities. So we're inviting fans to make a donation of $25 or more, and there's something in it for them too. Because if they make a donation, every hour we have a different prize they're eligible to win. In fact,
right now,
in the 8 o'clock hour, right? We're coming up on 8 o'clock, and so fans who would donate between 8 and 9 have a chance to win a Carlton Fisk autograph bat. We have tickets, experiences, autographed items. Just a little, give a little, get a little idea here.
Let me ask you a question. Now, this says I supported. It is a sticker.
Yeah.
I supported Chicago White Sox charities. What do you have to do to get this little sticker?
Actually, we've got staff members down on the concourse, on the 100 and 500 level concourse. So the fans that are coming by to donate today online are getting a sticker just to make them feel good. You know, when you vote or you give blood or you donate to White Sox charities.
Well, I want you to know that we're going to do this. You can't see it very well, but it says IOU. Is that okay for us to then get one of these?
You know, I'll hold you to it.
Or do we have to give you a freshly printed
you know, that
$100 bill?
This might work. This might work a little better.
Okay,
Did you pull that off the shelf?
No, actually,
okay.
that is definitely not given away on the prize shelf. We do a lot of things. We don't do that.
That's awesome. Thank you. We can take this as a contribution from both of you.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
I've got my wallet here too.
Okay.
I'll take care of myself. Lori goes to second to get the lead runner, and one down. Steve's proudly wearing his sticker.
You wear that well. Thank you.
How about it?
So again, every hour we're asking fans to donate. They can go to whitesox.com/Sox25, see a whole list of prizes. It's a really simple credit card donation, and they can kind of pick the hour that they want to donate to see what they want to win.
And that's throughout the night, right?
Yeah, it actually goes in. That's a great question. Thank you. It goes until 1 o'clock tomorrow. So we kicked off at noon. We're doing 25 hours, so it wraps up at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And between 12 and 1, that last hour tomorrow, we're calling it the Power Hour, we'll actually have 25 gifts that people have a chance to win.
How about that?
One of the best things about this is that you get a chance to actually see where your money goes with some very talented young baseball players.
Yeah, you know, we support so many charities across the greater Chicago metropolitan region, but one program that we're particularly proud of is our Amateur City Elite program, which is essentially a travel baseball program for inner city kids. And the program has just had amazing impact. This guy right here is Corey Ray. Corey grew up in our ACE program. A young Corey, he is now at University of Louisville, and he's projected to go in the top 10
maybe even top 5 in the draft.
The draft this year. There's Corey actually at the College World Series talking to ACE kids that we brought to the game. So it's about keeping the kids off the street. It's about getting them to stick through high school, going on to get college scholarships to play baseball, and then paying it forward. You know, they come back and they engage with the younger kids in the program. So you're talking about just such a great tangible example of how White Sox charity donor dollars are really making an impact on individual people.
And because there's 9 teams on a yearly basis, you guys are actually sponsoring over 100 kids who wouldn't have an opportunity to do what they're doing in any other way except through White Sox charities.
It's amazing, Steve. I mean, the kids that we've met, some of them have never really even been out of their own neighborhoods. And they're traveling all over the country, going to tournaments. They're getting these fantastic opportunities to get college degrees. I mean, most of them, the good portion of them are first-generation college students. So it's just amazing when you can actually meet someone and you know that's where you've made an impact.
I think it's a wonderful thing, and I do believe that Jason will absolutely split the $300 contribution I made to you. So
$300.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
What's it going to be by the time this interview's over?
He's got a $300 bill.
That $500 donation.
I might stay for a few more innings, guys.
Can we donate something off the prize shelf to go into the Power Hour there? We got a Steve Stone signed Altoids tin behind you.
I love that. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
We can add it to the 8 o'clock hour. We'll do 2 prizes in the 8 o'clock hour.
We have a Gene Honda signed baseball, by the way. Gene was gracious enough to sign a ball for us.
We have the miniature Altoid tin.
We could have used that at the garage sale, but I'll take it too.
So I signed it smaller.
You did.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this is a very generous contribution over and above the financial support of 25 for 25. So again, fans, whitesox.com/Sox25 until 1 o'clock tomorrow.
And you said it was easy to do?
It's so simple. It's a really simple form, and we just, we really are so excited. We've had amazing fan support so far. It's really been fun. It's been fun to watch the fans on the concourse. It's been fun to hear from people saying, oh, I'm going to wait until 8 o'clock because I want to win this or that. So we're appreciative of the fan support, but we got lots of room for lots of more people to join the campaign.
Line drive left field, and into the corner it goes, foul. So you mentioned it, the website, whitesox.com/Sox25, and all of the different hourly prizes are on there?
Yep, all the hourly prizes are listed, and So we're off to a great start. We've got lofty goals for this one, and again, it's as simple as a $25 contribution. If that doesn't work for you, you can donate less if you want to. Like, Steve, what are you at now? What are we up to?
That $1,000 donation.
Let's check the tote board.
That Jason is going to split with me.
More.
Yeah, absolutely. Donate as much as you can. The program is great, and you're helping a lot of kids. Not only baseball players, but you're helping a lot of kids in the greater Chicagoland area. White Sox Charities has been wonderful for quite some time, and this is one of the ways that you can help sponsor it.
Yeah, 25 years and $25 million donated to the Chicago community. Thanks to the generous support of our fans, this is just another opportunity for them to support us and have a chance to win something.
I know you care very deeply about these programs. It's something that you really believe in completely, and we love having you up here to talk about it.
Well, thanks, guys, and thanks for the generous support.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can keep the tin of Altoids, too.
I'm going to give them up. We're going to award them, and we'll let you know who won.
That
8
sounds
o'clock
great.
hour, everybody. Carlton Fistbat and Steve Stone signed how do you say it?
Altoids.
Altoid Smalls.
Yeah.
Right here.
How about it?
Awesome. Thanks,
One of the
guys.
addition to the hopper. Christine, thank you. Pleasure, as always. Broken bat ground ball, and we're going to wave bye-bye to the top of the third. The Astros are done. Bottom three coming next in a 2-1 lead for the Astros.
Pride with White Sox checking and an official White Sox MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
We have a couple Twitter comments after Christine's visit. She was lovely as always and very passionate about the program she puts together. As Pfister misses outside to Austin Jackson. The one comment that I'd like to share with you, hold on, Stone actually pulled a real $100 bill from his wallet. The fans are incredulous that you would do such a thing. Fly ball to right, Springer's there, and there's out number one.
It took me a long time to paint in those two zeros next to the one, yes.
Usually there's a force field around your wallet. And the other question is, what is that statue behind Steve on the prize shelf? In Sox Math coming up, you'll be able to win that statue, which we call our statue of limitations.
We actually have two statues, and I can tell you what both of them are as soon as Adam Eaton gets a base hit.
I'll let you model the statue.
So here's a lovely one statue. This is from Chicago White Sox Fantasy Camp in 2014. This was given to all the winners. You can see how many there are because this is the only statue made. The other is a statue of Paul Konerko.
Fly ball from Eaton. And Rasmus underneath for out number two. You can win both of those, or at least one of them, if you participate in Sox Math, which has a slight Sox geography tinge today.
Might be a little easier then?
Oh, yeah.
Than normal?
Geography makes everything easier.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a Helsinki feeling about this? 2 out for Jimmy Rollins, who doubled and scored the Sox lone run in the bottom of the first.
So after a tough start, Pfister has gotten pretty tough. The double play ground ball out of the first inning, and then he's retired everybody since that.
Strike one to Rollins. Sox trailing 2-1. And now 0-2. Pfister making currently quick work of this Sox order in the third. Getting it and throwing it.
Well, he's a little like Jared Weaver of the Angels in that he's not going to overpower you. He throws a little bit harder than Weaver. They both use slow breaking balls. Weaver's changeup is a bit better than Pfister's. But you have to wait back on both of them. If you don't, they're going to have you well out in front, and then they're going to get you out.
1-2. And he got him on a breaking ball. Third strikeout for Pfister. Top of the fourth coming your way next. 2-1 Houston. Sox greats on a homecoming weekend, Friday, May 20th to Sunday, May 22nd, when the White Sox battle the Royals. Homecoming weekend presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/homecoming. First pitch skied foul by Valbuena.
Valbuena has some pretty good power, and he hits the ball to all fields. Last year he hit 25 home runs. That was kind of a surprise for the Astros, and an added benefit of having one of the more popular players on their team in the lineup as much as they can find a spot for him.
Pretty good third baseman. Playing first tonight.
Yeah, third baseman by trade, but to keep his bat in the lineup because he's always had some luck against Latos, he moves across to first.
Jimmy Rollins in the shift. For out number one. Time for Sox Math. Tonight, use the hashtag SoxMath and have the first correct answer, and you win a prize off the prize shelf. Number of games in this current Sox homestand, starting with the beginning of the homestand. Divide by Ray Durham's usual Sox jersey number. New Sox Math music, by the way. Multiply the number of letters in Avi Garcia's home country and subtract the number of nations bordering Garcia's home country.
There is some geography in there.
Question tonight. If you find Carmen Sandiego in the process, you win a prize as well. Jason Castro takes ball one. Hashtag SoxMath. First correct answer wins a prize off the prize shelf.
We've been seeing Castro go the opposite way quite a bit, despite the fact that they're overshifting on him to the right side.
I have one more tweet I'd like to share with you about our segment with Christine O'Reilly. Great movie idea. Kurt Russell in Escape from Stone's Wallet.
Oh, jeez. They're besmirching my character.
2-0. Castro takes ball 3. You've been very generous over lunch with me, by the way. I think people are getting the wrong idea. You're typically the one ponying up for lunch, and I appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you. And one of the big reasons after that base on balls is that we would still be waiting at whatever place we ate for lunch if I had to wait for you to loosen up some of that wallet.
Well, a lot of people don't take Bitcoin
Anymore.
That's a problem. You gonna go see Angry Birds?
I think I'll have to miss that. But I think that the man who's at bat now is doing just about everything right.
Yes. Tony Kemp has thrown out a base runner, has doubled, and he scored in this series his first career run. Vanderbilt product who happened to be in Nashville upon the time of his call-up. AAA Fresno was on the road in Nashville. He's surrounded by friends and family, and the first person he got to tell was his brother after leaving the manager's office. A pretty cool story for Kemp on his promotion, his first career promotion.
He doesn't have a whole lot of power, but he does hit the ball hard. And because of his speed, he's learned how to bunt to both sides. Now, that time he showed bunt. That's going to pull Frazier in, but it's also going to open up a hole on the left side if he goes that way.
One. Floated left side. Long run, Rollins. It's down again. Another parachute for the Astros. And 2 on, 1 out in the 4th.
Tony Kemp is now 2 for 2. That fastball in on his hands. He inside outs it, as you can tell on the Honda pitch tracks. Long run for Rollins. Cannot get to it. And the Astros are finding places to drop little loopers tonight.
6 hits now for the Astros. Had a single from Correa in the 3rd, couple of hits in the 2nd, 2 more in the 1st, and this one in the 4th. And Altuve extends the zone for strike 1.
Altuve's been walking a bit more than he usually does, which isn't to say that he's walking a lot, but he does have 23 walks so far in the early going. That for him is a monumental step forward, and one of the few guys in the league who's actually walked more than he struck out.
Three walks, 20 strikeouts this year for Altuve, who takes a breaking ball in there for a strike.
He's opened his stance up somewhat this year, and it's given him the ability, better than any year he's ever had, of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Although the Astros don't anticipate that he's going to hit 35-plus home runs, that's the kind of pace he's on.
Top 10 in Major League Baseball in average and slugging and on-base percentage. He has done all of the things the Astros would want. For A.J. Hinch, very bright guy. Got a chance to spend some time with him before the game today.
A.J.'s a much better manager second time around because he understands a whole lot more of how to deal with people, which is a number 1 for managers.
On the ground, under Frazier into left. Melky's up with it. Castro coming home, and he scores 3-1. Houston with the lead on the RBI single for Altuve.
That's 26 driven in, 2 tonight for Altuve, who just eases it under the glove of Frazier. This is a splitter. Altuve going out, making some contact, and it turns into gold for him. The ball is slowly hit. Melky comes on, but doesn't think he'd have a shot at Castro, who walked with 1 out in this inning. So now it's a 2-run lead. Gary Pettis, the third base coach, giving him the go-ahead realizing that Melky was back in left field.
Strike one to Springer. I know he doesn't do it with the fanfare of David Ortiz, who was in during the last homestand, but Altuve, if you like nuance in baseball, he's one of the really fun guys to watch hit, isn't he?
He's not only a good hitter, but he'll make contact, and he drives in a surprising amount of runs for a leadoff hitter.
Laurie on the charge, and he bobbles it, picks it back up, and gets the out at second. A dicey proposition for a moment. Kemp to third. Altuve is out.
He can't corral the hopper, but fortunately there's no place to go. So Altuve, who stopped, didn't want to run into a double play, is forced at second base. So runners at the corners. In this 3-1 game, there are 2 outs.
And a dangerous man coming up. It's Carlos Correa, who's 2 for 2 with a single and RBI. Came in the first, another base hit in the third, and a stolen base in the first inning. Very daring Astros team on the base path, and Latos throws on Springer.
Springer's got pretty good speed, but he's not an accomplished base stealer at this point. It's going to take him a while to pick up the keys, especially from a right-hand pitcher. One of the keys is usually the back leg. If he bends it, he's got to come home. Another key is the front shoulder. If he moves that shoulder, well, then he's going to usually come to first if he opens it up. Right-hand pitchers will close the shoulder when they're coming home, open the shoulder when they're going to first.
We watch Latos here with 2 on and 2 out. He comes home with a strike. Sox entering play today. 3.5 up on Cleveland in the Central, 4.5 up on Kansas City, at least to start the day. The Royals have 1 already. Laurie awaits the arrival and throws the ball to Abreu. RBI single, Jose Altuve. The Astros lead Matt Latos by a pair. Grand Mound Cable in Grand Mound, Iowa.
Jose Abreu driving in the first and only Sox run, and with that White Sox run, eClick Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families.
Sox trying to come back here. They've got Abreu, Frazier, and Cabrera on the way against Doug Fister. And a ball inside. We've had quite a few guests here today. Dan Hayes was in the second inning. We upgraded from there to Christine O'Reilly, a significant upgrade. Ground ball to second, Altuve for out number 1. Let's give you a Sox math answer for tonight and a new defending champion. Games in the Sox homestand is 10. Rays number was 5. The home country is Venezuela. That's 9 letters, and there are 3 countries bordering Venezuela, including Guyana. The answer is 15. W Sox Bears Hawks, clearly from Detroit, is your winner. W Sox Bears Hawks. Congratulations, you win a prize.
Any protests because of the geographical references in this one?
Well, it's baseline is math, but there are geographical components. So holistically, it's more of a math question than a geography question. Are you protesting?
Yes.
Well, you being the one who's wearing the I supported Chicago White Sox charities.
It's true.
Sticker.
I'll sell this to you for $200.
Thank you.
Okay.
What will you give the money back to Chicago White Sox charities?
Of course.
Don't be so aghast. It's a strike 2-1 on Frazier, who walked in the first.
In the meantime, after 3 straight hits in the first inning, Doug Fister has gotten pretty tough.
3-1 to Frazier. Fister has not allowed a base runner since Frazier in that first inning.
And the slow curveball has come to him. He's throwing it in good spots, although he just barely missed the last time. So here comes a fastball away. Let's see if Todd can stay with it.
He takes a strike, 3-2.
Castro wanted it away. Fister got it right there. So now he looks back at Altuve and tells him to pretty much play up the middle, which means Fister thinks that Frazier's going to go that way.
On the ground, Fister soars in for it. And there is out number 2. You said last night that generally with 2 strikes, the shifts will decline. There will be fewer shifts with 2 strikes. Why is that?
Well, because the guy's looking for power before he gets to 2 strikes. So he's trying to take everything and either hit it out of the park or look for a double. But with 2 strikes, you're going to shorten your stroke. You're going to probably be more aware of the ball away. And in that case, he did move Altuve over, and Frazier did hit it to the right side because he was defending on a pitch that was obviously, from Fister's standpoint, going to be away from him.
2 out, ball 1 on Melky Cabrera, who wrapped into a double play in the first inning.
You okay?
I think your coughing fit has gotten contagious.
Everything you know is contagious.
2-0. That ball is smoked by Melky Cabrera to right field. And he has a 2-out single, first hit for the Sox since batter number 3.
Melky continues to hit the ball hard against Fister, and this one on the inner third, but well too much of the plate to Melky, and he unloads on it.
So here is the tying run. Brett Lawrie, who struck out in the second inning.
Rasmus is playing him around toward right center field, and they're deep all the way around. As you can see, actually way back there. It almost looks like a no double set.
2 out in the 4th inning.
Fister's fallen behind. Hasn't done that too much since the first inning, where he walked the only man he's walked tonight.
Lawrie lets one go. 2-1 on Brett. Punch back and foul. 2-2 for Lawrie.
We'll take a look at Fister and how he started out. The first 4 starts, not particularly good. He didn't have command, and he was torched. But the last 3 starts, he's been particularly good at 2-0. His ERA a little above 2.5, so you can see things getting considerably better on a guy that Houston is counting on.
Who gets his second strikeout of Lawrie tonight and strands Melky Cabrera. We're done with 4. It's 3-1 Astros. Northwest Indiana Sox fans night is on Friday, May 20th when the Sox take on the Royals. The White Sox are offering specially priced tickets to all Indiana residents, their family, and their friends. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/NWI Sox fans. Come visit the city by the lake. Take the quick trip from Northwest Indiana. A 3-1 score for Houston ahead of Matt Latos with Rasmus, Gaddis, and Moran on the way. Some really good news for our crew today. By the way, our high home camera is being operated by the one and the only Dave Cella, who, as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, was under the weather. And there he is. Say hi, Cella. It's good to see him back at work, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. And he's got his Swedish Air Force hat.
Whoa, boy. 4-1.
Rasmus has got some big power. You just saw a little of it there. He hits his 8th home run. He drives in his 30th run. And that a no-doubter.
First home run since April 24th for Colby Rasmus. And a 4-1 lead.
Ford home run replay. And this pitch is a left-hand hitter's dream. It's just below the belt on the inside part. And he takes it way back. 30 runs driven in, a big year for Rasmus.
Much prefer him to bunt again next time.
I think the righty-lefty matchup convinced him to swing away, and you saw the reason why he is in this lineup most every day.
So 4-1 Houston with a run in the first, the second, the fourth, and the fifth. Ball and a strike on Evan Gaddis, who had the game winner last night with 2 out and a 2-run homer in the 11th inning.
One of the tip-offs that Matt is having trouble with his stuff and harnessing it was last time out he didn't strike anybody out. And for him that's a bit unusual. So tonight he had a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. He had another strikeout in the third, but in between that he's given up 8 hits and 4 runs.
Missed down and away, 2-2 for Gaddis. One hopper, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We saw Latos in the first inning. He was essentially talking to himself around the mound after the first 3 reached. Seemed like he had calmed it down, but the Astros have been very persistent tonight offensively.
They're getting some good swings, and Matt, when he has been in the strike zone, he's been wild in the strike zone, not making the pitches he wants to make.
Gaddis in the air right field, and Eaton on the move to watch it fly away.
Moran in the on-deck circle.
Hard hit. Frazier holds the line and has no play. Kept it on the infield and nothing more. So a single for Gaddis.
Last night was his first game back from the minor leagues, and this goes as a base hit. It actually was in the glove briefly, trickled out, and Gaddis is aboard. Outfield playing Moran as an off-field hitter. The huge gap in right center.
There's a strike to the young third baseman.
There you can see the defense as we pan around. Rollins playing pretty much up the middle, looking for a double play ground ball.
Looping liner, Jimmy Rollins hauls it in, 1 down.
The positioning was perfect, and Rollins playing up the middle got a soft Little liner. Once again, Latos was able to get inside on Moran, who is 0 for 3.
Want a piece of good news, Steve?
I would love one.
The Cincinnati Reds have taken a baseball lead
over the Tribe.
Over the Tribe, 6-4 in the 7th. So that's the nearest competition, at least right now, for the Sox in the Central. Although Kansas City has won, and with the Sox lost, that would mean Cleveland and Kansas City would be tied at 3.5 back, and Detroit would then be 5 back. Here's Dan Jennings getting loose.
Kansas City has cooled off a hot Boston ball club, beating them for the 2nd time in a row. We saw just how good those Red Sox are. But Kansas City will right the ship.
Mike Moustakas sent out to Double-A on a rehab assignment just today.
Well, that was a pretty quick rehab from an injury that at least they speculated it could be 6 to 8 weeks. Then the next time we heard it was 4 to 6 weeks. And now it'll probably be a little shorter than that. And he's a big missing piece for that offense.
Well, they've called up Cheslor Cuthbert from AAA Omaha. He's been playing third base, but you've said it. I mean, defensively and offensively, a combination.
Now, especially those guys at the corners. You got Hosmer at one, Moustakas at the other. Factor in Escobar in the infield, Perez behind the plate, and Kane in center field along with Gordon. They're pretty good.
Not that you don't want to beat the Astros, right? You want to win every game. But if you're going to fall on hard times in any series during this homestand, you'd prefer it to be this one.
Well, for the first time in a while, the Sox are going to be in their division as Kansas City and Cleveland come to town. Cleveland for a doubleheader, making that a 4-game series in a makeup of a rainout. In the meantime, Matt Latos is struggling. He's got to make a tough pitch to a guy with some power.
3-1 on Valbuena. Ground ball, Laurie's there. Rollins 1, turn 2. Double play ends the inning. Rasmus the homer expands the lead to 3. Can't wait, Chuck. Good to hear from you. As Avi Garcia goes after the first pitch, Fister's got to get over there, and he does very smoothly. 1 away. Chuck has many interesting things to tell us after our program.
He does indeed, and hopefully the offense can come to life against a suddenly very tough Doug Fister. get that fastball well in on the hands of Avi. And he's doing that with the fastball to Garcia consistently. Then he did go away with a breaking ball in the second inning and struck him out.
Pfister, 4 strikeouts, the 1 walk that came in the first inning. First 4 Sox batters reached in this game, and since then, 1 base runner. Now Navarro, who punches it foul.
I think one of the most interesting things that A.J. Hinch told both of us was, you know, you have an organization, and he is in an organization that depends heavily on sabermetrics and the various metrics of baseball. They have since Jeff Luhnow has gotten there. But one of the things that A.J. mentioned I thought was very interesting was the visual metrics.
Yep.
He said that sometimes the visual metrics, which is an experienced manager taking a look at something that maybe a guy gives away in the course of a night where he's making an adjustment, that certainly helps. And this is going to be a tough play.
Pfister circles around it and has to eat it. Infield single for Navarro. That's not exactly the most visually pleasing base hit, but it's worthy of applause.
Just one of the many infield hits that DeAnna is going to leg out this year.
Have you seen the definition of the word many recently?
He couldn't have thrown it in a better spot by the time Pfister gets to it. The only thing he can do is throw it away, and so DeAnna with a base hit, the 5th Sox hit, a chance to maybe get something going here in the 5th.
1 out, 1 odd for Austin Jackson. The visual analytics being compared to the informational analytics that the front office sends A.J. Hinch's way, as you were talking about.
One of the things, for instance, is you take a number, a guy is perhaps 1 for 7 against a certain pitcher. But you've seen the fact that although it's 1 for 7, 3 or 4 of the times the guy hit the ball very hard. So the average doesn't look good, but the visual metrics make you change, and maybe you start him in a situation where the actual metrics don't look as good. And so I think we're experiencing a very prepared and also a manager who's in his 2nd stint benefiting from the first time around with the Diamondbacks.
And part of that is he's indicated, 1 and 2 on Jackson, is having the confidence in himself to not only manage the people socially in that clubhouse, but also tell the front office, hey, I'm trusting what I'm seeing here. Let me fill in the gaps on the information that you're sending me. Castro keeps it close enough. Navarro does not run. 2 and 2.
No sense being too adventuresome. That ball didn't get away all that far. We'll take a look at DeAnna at first. If you don't go right away, then you don't go. And because he didn't take off, and that's not really a big part of his game, the speed aspect, so anticipation wasn't there, and he stayed at first.
Two and 2. Jackson to right field. It hangs up, and Springer is on it for out number 2. Join us at U.S. Cellular Field as the White Sox take on the Kansas City Royals Saturday, June 11th. First 20,000 fans receive a White Sox Hawaiian shirt presented by Beggar's Pizza. Visit WhiteSox.com to purchase your tickets today. Ukuleles sold separately.
There is a partial Hawaiian shirt. I've got a couple of those.
Makes it warmer if you wear a Hawaiian shirt.
I'm waiting for the temperature to get above 60 before I start to break those out.
Do you really have a Hawaiian shirt collection?
I have a couple of them. In fact, I have Comcast Hawaiian shirts.
See, I missed the year that they gave out the Comcast Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, you got to be here 5-6 years before you even think of that. And then we can work our way into Hawaiian shirts for you. But right now, yeah, it's too early.
Do they have Jim Corno Jr.'s picture in the middle of a flower?
I haven't seen that yet, but
2-0 on Eaton.
I thought last night Adam Eaton had one of the most impressive at-bats of the night. It came with the Sox down 6-4, and it came against Tony Sipp, a tough left-hander on a left-hand hitter. And Adam doubled in the 11th inning to make it a 6-5 game, and the Sox would get no closer. But it really showed that Eaton has learned how to do a lot of things offensively. His defense has been spectacular, but he kept that shoulder in. It was a breaking ball. It was on the outer third of the plate. He hit the daylights out of it, and for a while it looked like the Sox were going to come back. Unfortunately, they fell that run short.
There's a strike. There's a story from the fine folks at Fangraphs today called Adam Eaton has been baseball's quietest superstar. The last calendar year, number 8 in wins above replacement, in the same category as a Mike Trout and a Bryce Harper and a Josh Donaldson. That ball is hammered to right field. Springer has it go over his head. Eaton strikes again. Navarro stops at third.
We're going to check and see if Deanna is okay, because it looked like he pulled up. I thought there was a very good chance to score on this one, as Adam hits the daylights out of it. Springer thought he had a chance, but as he goes back, this ball accelerates over his head, and Navarro right here pulls up. I think because Joe McEwing thought that the throw from Springer was going to be pretty good. So he sees where the ball is, but realizes there that he's not going to be able to score, and does pull up. But I thought there was something that just wasn't quite right with him, and so Hermie comes out there to have a word with him. Last thing in the world this ball club needs is for Navarro, who's been very good both sides of the equation, to have something wrong with his legs.
He sends both Robin and Herm Schneider away.
But I agree with that article on Fangraphs, because we've seen Adam each and every day, and he does something on a daily basis to cement the fact that he is one of the league's best players to this point. It doesn't matter, it's throwing, it's catching the baseball, it's running the bases, or hitting the ball as he's been doing, but he's just been terrific, and another 2 hits here tonight.
One of the pieces of evidence they show about that is the fact that he's hit the ball both away and in, as opposed to the beginning of last year. He's hitting only essentially balls down the middle very hard. So he's expanded his plate coverage as Rollins stands in a large spot. Second and third, 2 out in the 5th. And a ball outside to Rollins with Abreu on deck.
Last time he went out after that slow breaking ball and was a strikeout victim to end the 3rd inning. Abreu in the on deck circle if Jimmy can keep it alive. Base hit here makes things awfully interesting.
Low, 2-0.
That was a break because that one had the plate.
Time called.
You look in and you see Castro going through a set of signs, and that set of signs can be as simple as the first sign after 3. When I give you the number 3, the first sign. Or it can be complicated, and depending on your pitcher and what he's able to pick up, depends on the complexity of the set of signs each catcher uses. So we're looking at Castro. He's looking at the feet of Jimmy Rollins to see if Rollins might be adjusting by moving closer to the plate. He's satisfied that he's not. Now he gives him a set of signs and see if he comes up with it.
Looked like he missed his spot, and he got a strike call out of it. 2-2.
He got a break on a low fastball, and that time testing the upper portions of the zone. The count is even. And you see Castro thinking about that pitch because he brought it well down in the zone. He thought it was high.
2-2. Navarro at third, Eaton at second, and Rollins stays with it. 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pfister to Rollins. Jimmy puts a charge into it. Right center field. This ball carries, but Rasmus is there to keep it 4-1. 2 left on. A near hit for the Sox. that you should beware of the sleeping giant. The Astros were in the playoffs last year in the division series and lost, and they're playing like a playoff team this series so far.
I think they got a pretty good team. What they have to straighten out is their starting pitching. And Doug Fister tonight, well, he averages 6 innings per start. And the last inning, Sox hit the ball a bit better. They had a chance to put something up, didn't get away with it, but it's up to Matt Latos now to slam the door. He's got to hold him at 4.
Well, 4-1 right now as it stands. And Latos with his first pitch, and that ball is crushed. Castro is 3 for 3. He's scored 3 times, and it's 5-1.
Jason Castro hit that one a mile. That's just his 3rd home run of the year. He's now driven in 9. And the bullpen that had been up and going is still up and going. And so as we look at our Ford home run replay, Latos gets one up, Castro gets one out. And it's a 4-run deficit in all Astros so far tonight.
Second home run in as many innings from the leadoff spot for Houston. And Kemp floats one foul as the former Stanford catcher Jason Castro now has 4 hits in the series. He scored 3 times and driven in a pair. On the ground, Rollins at shortstop. And the very speedy Kemp is out, 1 down. Family Sundays presented by Coca-Cola at U.S. Cellular Field features tickets as low as $5 in the upper level and $15 in the lower level, and special kid-focused activities throughout the ballpark. Plus, parking's available for only $10. Visit WhiteSox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today. I think you can text it.
I think, Jason, what you're seeing is that batting average means very little in this game as it pertains to run production.
Rollins can't flag it down. Altuve, well, don't tell him that about the batting average thing. He's 3 for 4.
Now it's time for the greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Last 7 players with 40-plus doubles and 40-plus stolen bases in their first 200 career games. Mike Trout on the list, Jose Altuve on the list, Jimmy Rollins on that same list, and you look at some of the other names on that list, and they're all excellent players.
Pitching change time for the Sox. Matt Latos is done after 5+ a batter. And we'll tell you about the Sox new pitcher, Zach Putnam, after this.
Night on for the 14th time. He's 1-0, ERA 3.77. Last night he pitched an inning. He gave up a run on a couple of hits with a walk and a strikeout, and he comes on to face George Springer, the man who I believe is intent on stealing second base, residing at first base.
He does have 2 in his name, Jose Altuve. 5 1/3 for Latos, 11 hits, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. And the run's not yet decided with his property Altuve at first, at least fleetingly. He holds. That ball's whacked to left field. And a base hit for Springer, who's now on a 7-game hit streak with that single.
Well, I was talking about batting average, and Houston came in with a batting average that was last in the league, actually tied for last with Tampa Bay. However, this is a team that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, as we've seen in this series. And because they have some big power, they're going to score a lot of runs. So if they do draw some walks, their power is going to overcome a whole lot of teams. And it doesn't matter what that batting average says.
And they also have guys who are likely to hit better than they're hitting right now. The average is likely to rise even if it doesn't matter.
And they can also steal a few bases. So that always helps, because the old adage in baseball is speed never slumps, and that helps you both on offense and defense, because they can chase them down in the outfield.
38 steals, the most in Major League Baseball for A.J. Hinch's Houston club. Sox will finish with Houston coming up next month. They are already done with Texas for the season. Have yet to see the Mariners out of the AL West. Should say early July, actually. The very first 3 days of July. There's an off day in June. Then the Sox go to Houston.
This will eventually be a very scary team to face in their home park because of all that power, and it's a right-hand hitter's dream at Minute Maid Park in Houston.
Fouled by Correa, who has been a big strikeout guy recently. 9 of them his last 5 games. On a 2 for 3 so far tonight. Robin Ventura, Sox skipper, former Olympian as he is, played for the U.S. side in Seoul.
Sox had a couple of real good chances to put a lot of runs up. The first inning, first 4 hitters, single, double, single, and a walk, only to see a double play taken out of the inning. And then last inning, another golden opportunity, but a good running catch by Rasmus in right center.
Correa goes down swinging. Putnam dispatches him. And the first strikeout for the Astros since the 3rd inning.
This is a good splitter, and he throws it in a perfect spot. Now all you got to do is get by a man who hit the ball 8 miles last time.
But other than that, you're good. Rasmus leadoff homer to right in the 5th. Putnam, the right-hander, on the ground to second. Laurie for out number 3. Home run for Jason Castro, and the Astros continue to put singletons on the board. They have a run in 4 separate innings so far tonight.
David Ockham and the Fire make their long-awaited Chicago return in a match with the Houston Dynamo. Coverage begins Saturday at 3:30 on CSN+.
He shaves with Occam's razor.
I was talking about that before the game, and it's really hard to get that in the broadcast. You were able to do it. For that, I am very proud of you.
Dinner on you.
I would have been prouder if you had one of these I-supported White Sox Charities thing.
You're going to keep with that crowbar tonight, aren't you? The philanthropy crowbar. It's great. In the air, right side, long run both ways, and nicely done by Springer. Astros with their 5 runs coming into last half inning. They had 4 singletons on the board. Now a 5th in the top of this inning. So 5 separate innings with 1 run, and that is Occam's razor. That's the quickest way to 5 runs, is 1 in every half inning other than the 3rd.
And George Springer made a very good play. It shows you the kind of speed he has, and we talked about speed aiding you not only on offense. There you saw an example of it on defense. That ball could have easily fallen, but it was up long enough for Springer to run under it.
1 out, Pfister to Frazier, who stabs a bunt down. Moran, tough play. He whistled it wide down the line. Frazier touches up on first, just to be clear, and he's on with 1 down in the 6th.
It goes as a base hit, and he saw Moran back at 3rd. Then Todd looked at it, and I think they want to take a look at the arm of Valbuena. I've seen a lot of first basemen wind up with a dislocated elbow on a similar play. Moran throws it right into the path of Todd Frazier, who gets hit with it, and then looks like hyperextends the elbow of Valbuena. This is a very dangerous play for a first baseman, and as you can see, he hits the glove, it straightens out the elbow, and there's a chance of some hyperextension, but we'll have to see how Valbuena fares. In the meantime, Todd, who doesn't need another injury, gets hit by the throw.
And by the way, heady play from Frazier there, just to double check that he actually touched first. He realized that he may not have kicked it on the way by, and Valbuena is going to stay in the game.
Looked to me like Todd might have actually scraped the top of the bag as he went by, but then again, he doesn't know what Adam Hamari is going to say, so because Springer got to that ball pretty quickly down the right field line, he decided to stay at first base.
Or a possible challenge as well. I mean, you end up with looking at that on tape. You never know how it's going to turn out. 1 on, 1 out for Melky Cabrera as the Sox try to construct a 6th inning, trailing by 4.
Pitch number 83 on the way, and Melky, who hit the daylights out of one with 2 outs, nobody on in the 4th to keep that inning alive.
Hits this one hard, deep right center field. Cabrera just misses a home run and kicks away from Springer. Here comes Frazier. Melky booking it for 3rd, and he's in with an RBI triple here in the 6th.
That's RBI number 15. And he crushed that ball and caught a break because the ball caromed off the wall and went back toward right field. So Melky, taking a look at it, at first content at least with a 2-base hit, then realizing that this ball caroms awkwardly off the wall as Melky gave it a ride. You see it here. Hits the bottom of the fence and then kicks back toward right field. Well, Springer can't get to it. Melky coasts into 3rd base. And it's a 3-run lead. Sox looking for more. Here comes Melky.
You folks just watched the 39th career triple for Melky Cabrera as Laurie takes a high strike.
It's absolutely imperative when a ground ball can get you a run. Brett has got to make some contact. He's got to drive in Melky, get the deficit at the very least to 2.
Ball and a strike.
Moran is in at 3rd, but he's wide of the bag. Valbuena in at 1st, wide of the bag, and then the middle infielders are back conceding the run.
A lot of room to work with. Now 1 and 2 on Laurie.
No contact the first 2 times, and this time you got to come away with some.
Sox do have a hit from each of the top 5 in the order tonight. 1 and 2. Fouled off.
It might be one of the signs that Pfister is tiring somewhat, and the reason being that Castro called a sinker, he called it down and in. Pfister got a fastball up and away. When a pitcher misses his spot by a good 3 feet, could be that that arm is losing a little life.
Laurie goes after it in the dirt. Strike 3, 2 down.
Got him with a curveball. He did it the first time up, and when this ball gets away and Karam's away, Britt probably should have run to first base. He doesn't. And by the time he thinks about it, it is too late. So for the moment, Melky 90 feet away.
Brett thinks it over, and Garcia with a runner at third, 2 down, takes a strike. When you talk about getting into the 7th inning with a 3-run lead or a 2-run lead or a 2-run deficit, 3-run deficit, might be a big difference.
It is a big difference because they don't have an overpowering closer in Gregerson. Now, we saw Giles show you closer stuff last night, but for the time being, Gregerson is the closer, and since April 25th, Bobby's been red hot. Tonight, they are, however, throwing a lot of fastballs in under his hands.
0-2. Blocked by Castro. That even, the hot streak for Avi Garcia includes a hamstring injury in between. He started very well in that series in Toronto, was injured for the series in Baltimore, and then came back during the next homestand.
He wants to go inside again. Let's see if he gets it there.
On the ground, first base, Valbuena to Pfister, who has fielded his position very well so far today. Sox get a run on the Melky triple, but nothing more. 5-2 to the 7th. Steve Stone's expected to get 100%. How did you do against Roger Metzger, the former Houston Astros, Steve?
Well, because he was a ping-hitting left-hand hitter, it probably didn't do well.
Ping-hitting?
Yeah, he didn't hit a lot of home runs. He hit a lot of balls, just inside out to various parts. I think I did a little better against him after he almost cut his fingers off with a lawnmower than I did before. But we'll take a look at it. I don't think I fared all that well.
You're always capitalizing on gardening adversity.
I don't think that helped his career, but he had a nice career.
Here's Evan Gattis, who is 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Putnam on for his first full inning of work. He entered with A runner on it. Latos leaving in the 6th.
Well, we saw last night, late in the ball game, you don't want to throw that splitter and catch the inner portion of the plate about belt high, because that's a pitch you hit out of the park. It's supposed to be a sinker from Matt Albers, didn't sink. And Gaddis, who's awfully strong, hit a line drive rocket into the pen.
By the way, you faced the National League Astros. That was the National League franchise when you were pitching.
Yes, it was that. And they played in, amazingly enough, the Astrodome.
How about that? Tipped foul, 1-2. And here's what Gaddis did last night.
This was the game changer. Line drive rocket. His first game since being recalled from Double-A, where he was working on his catching. And he made the most of it.
Swing and a miss. Putnam gets rid of Gaddis. Strikeout number 5 for the Sox staff. Let's see how you did against Roger Metzger. Ooh, 393.
Yeah, I didn't think that I did well.
That's a lot of pings.
But you see, no extra base hits, so he was a ping hitter. The toughest for most right-hand pitchers is a guy that just makes contact, especially if he happens to be left-handed, you happen to be right-handed. So Roger, congratulations.
Does he win something off the prize shelf?
Yes, he gets his choice of, well, maybe the Gene Honda signed baseball.
Oh, how generous of you. Wasn't that the sheriff on Murder, She Wrote, by the way? Sheriff Metzger. Is that right?
Tom Bosley played it.
Yeah.
My parents told me it was a great series.
They watched all of the episodes and passed along a lot of knowledge to you.
And there's a look at Gene Honda, PA announcer for our White Sox.
One of the best voices ever.
University of Illinois, the Final Four. He's something.
Over at the United Center, he can be seen during the overlap between sports seasons, racing over here after a game or before a game.
And we have one of the few Gene Honda official autographed baseball. We do, however, have some disturbing news from our prize shelf.
I've noticed there are certain items missing off the prize shelf.
Well, two big ones. One, the gnome, and the other, our watchdog, Pepe.
Yeah.
I believe that they were kidnapped and being held hostage.
Oh, my.
So if you out there want to tweet in where they might be held hostage, what should we pay for a ransom for the kidnapped gnome and dog, let us know.
Please do. Their lives are in your hands, folks, or somebody's hands. 3-2 on Moran.
There's some youngsters that certainly are enjoying the ball game.
Is that Dippin' Dots cookie dough? Is that what it says? Dippin' Dots cookie dough?
Yep.
It's ball 4. Moran on for the first time in his major league career. How can you have dough with Dippin' Dots is the question. They're little pellets. How can there possibly be dough?
Well, they're going to find out, certainly, as Robin comes walking out. He's already motioned to the pen. So Dan Jennings is going to come in the game. Zach Putnam is going to exit the game, and we'll step out and be back after these messages.
Game autograph session. Fans that purchase this special ticket pack can participate in an exclusive autograph session with select members of the White Sox prior to select games. To purchase these special ticket packs, visit whitesox.com/autographs. New pitcher, Steve.
Time now for the Midas Tire and Auto Service experts. Call to the pen, and it is Dan Jennings who inherits a base runner at first. On for the 12th time. He's 1-1, a fine ERA of 2.35. And he's going to look in at Luis Valbuena, who's been kept in the infield all night long in 3 at-bats.
Moran at first, 1 out. Trying to keep it right here after the Sox got 1 on the Melky Cabrera RBI triple in the home 6th.
Luis looked back at Dan Bellino. That pitch did have a good portion of the inside corner.
Check swing, no go, and outside, ball to strike. Valbuena signed at age 16 by the Mariners back in 2002 out of Sucre in Venezuela. To left field and in. 2 on, 1 out for Castro, and the battery of left-handers continues.
That ball was in the inside part of the plate, and Valbuena used an inside-out swing and lifted it to left field.
Now, Jason Castro has not only been a tough out tonight, he has been a non-existent out. 2 for 2, 3 runs, a walk, a home run. Kemp behind him has been on twice as well, leading to Altuve, who has been a very damaging player, as you might expect in this series.
He's one of the best players in baseball and keeps getting better every year, and that's pretty scary.
Ball 1 to Castro, who last time did this.
He certainly liked what he saw from Matt Latos, because he didn't hit it quite as far as Rasmus, but it was a long way.
On the ground, Frazier to second. Quick turn. Got 2. Neatly done. Quick trigger from Frazier. Started it. Abreu finishes it. 5-2 at stretch time. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Our entire crew is here as the Sox trail 5-2 in the home 7th, with Navarro, Jackson, and Eaton scheduled to face Doug Fister, who has navigated his way through 6 innings and allowed a couple of runs on 8 hits so far tonight.
I don't think A.J. Hinch is going to be terribly patient with Fister, who has averaged 6 innings, but last couple innings he's given up 4 hits, only that 1 run. But I think he's starting to miss in the zone, and that can be much more dangerous than missing out of the zone. And there you look at Ken Giles, who we saw last night, and hopefully he does not bring the same stuff into this game that he did in last night's game.
He was electric, wasn't he?
99-mile-an-hour fastball, a good overhand hook. There you see the line of Doug Fister.
2-0. Pumped in for strike 1 on Navarro. Sox got a run in the first off of Fister, then 1 more in the 6th. Ball's low. 3-1. Leadoff man, 7th inning. Navarro with a rip to right. Two for 3 for Deoner Navarro.
Sox hitter is starting to really get good looks at Fister as he throws this one right down the middle, and I would think as soon as Giles is ready, he's probably going to be destined for this one. And then eased over the head of Altuve. It was 5 feet 8 inches of line drive.
And that's enough.
That's enough.
And so a meeting coming at the mound, and that may be all. We'll see. Well, Fister may have a batter or 2 remaining.
He's going to give him at least 1 more because Giles just started to throw. And although Giles has a high ERA this year, I mean, we saw the stuff last night, he came into this season with a career ERA of 156. That's the lowest in Major League history for a pitcher with at least 100 innings of work. That's one of the reasons why they are so high on this guy, and one of the reasons why he will eventually be the closer on this team.
Well, there's a difference between being a closer and being somebody who comes in the most dangerous situations.
And that's one of the things A.J. Hinch talked to us about, was that he wants to put Giles in as many situations as he can where the game is on the line. Not necessarily outs 25, 6, and 7, but you can actually be a closer by getting the toughest part of the order in the 7th or 8th inning. And that's the duty that falls to Giles until he's anointed the official closer of this team.
(2-0) on Austin Jackson. Fister battling himself. 3-1 on Navarro, a single. 2-0 on Jackson, with Eaton coming next. Inside, 3-0.
.100 pitches, and he's missing the zone.
Got a strike there. Castro couldn't hang on. 3-1 to Jackson.
Now he's looking back and checking who's going to cover second base if the ball is hit back to him.
Castro helped him, that little wrist move as you talked about. 3-2.
That pitch could have gone either way, and it went Fister's way. So the full count. You see the ball maybe just off the plate, and just a slight movement to ease it back in the zone, make it look better to Dan Bellino.
In the air, right field. Springer calls off Rasmus. Follow White Sox Baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
So that's going to be it for Doug Fister, as they saw the same thing we saw, and he gave him a good outing. So as he walks off, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Brand new edition of Beer Money on CSN. Wind down from the busy weekend as contestants try to answer CSN's questions and walk away with cash. Beer Money, presented by Coors Light, Sunday at 7 p.m. on CSN Chicago. Time now for our Midas Tire and Auto Service experts called to the pen. And it is Ken Giles, the hard-throwing right-hander. 0-2, his ERA up there at 6.89. But this guy's got enchanted stuff. He has given up 4 home runs. They've all been costly because they've all surrendered the lead. And he's got to look in at Adam Eaton. He's got a big fastball and a terrific overhand hook.
Eaton's 2 for 3. Strike called. Adam Eaton was the impetus to get Giles in the game last night. Eaton walked, then Giles came in and struck out both Jimmy Rollins and Jose Abreu.
And what A.J. Hinch told us about that situation was he brought in Giles at that specific time, lifting Dallas Keuchel because he needed no contact from Jimmy Rollins, and turning him around to the left side with a guy that throws 99, he thought was a much better matchup than Rollins facing Keuchel as a right-hand hitter where he's hitting 500. It worked very well.
Way high, 2-1 for Eaton.
Vince Velasquez was the big addition to the Philadelphia Phillies starting rotation, and that's how Ken Giles got to Houston in a big multiplayer trade with the Phillies.
Gave up a lot, and the Phillies coming into tonight 6 games over with some of those pieces. Fouled off at 96, 2-2 for Eaton, who's now 1 off the major league lead with 18 games with at least 2 hits. He's behind only Daniel Murphy.
That's pretty impressive, and that Sox baseball cap is very impressive. And man needs a touch larger head or a smaller cap.
2-2. Upstairs, 3-2 for Eaton.
Giles originally drafted in the 7th round in June 2011. They got themselves a steal at that point with the kind of arm that he has.
Out of Rio Grande High School in Albuquerque. He is no Tuco Salamanca, but he is a very dangerous pitcher on the mound for the Astros. 3-2 for Eaton. Navarro at first. 1 out. Upstairs, ball 4. Summon the tying run to the plate.
And that will be one of the big problems for Giles, because he does throw hard. Has a tendency to leave everything up.
Sox are going to pinch run now for Navarro. Tyler Saladino is out of the dugout, and we'll see Avila for the second night in a row behind the plate. Navarro leaves 2 for 3. So now, how do you adjust if you're Jimmy Rollins to the speed you're seeing from Giles after last night?
I know you saw him last night, so you got a pretty good idea of the movement of the fastball. And because he throws so hard, the Astros are playing him as an opposite field hitter. Everybody else plays him as a dead pull hitter from the left side.
Into center field, Rasmus has it cased, and 2 out.
That was exactly where they lined up, so the defense was played perfectly.
So, if you're going to select a tying run, it'd be one of these two guys, Abreu or Frazier, on the way.
And hopefully it does help Jose, because he did have a look at Giles last night.
5-2 your score in the 7th. He bends it back with a breaking ball, 0-1.
Last 20 games, Jose's hitting .313, but of more importance, 3 home runs and 17 driven in, along with 10 scored. And they're playing him as an extreme opposite field hitter. There's a huge gap in left center.
Behind it, 0-2, to a huge gasp here at U.S. Cellular Field.
Outfield very deep. They want to cut anything off in the gaps. Eaton with very good speed at first base. And Giles getting it up there, 97-98.
Trying to help salt it away for Doug Fister, who went 6 1/3. Abreu down 2 strikes. Eaton at first, Saladino at second. 0-2. Abreu slices it foul.
He got that up there at 99, and Jose was able to fight it off because it was down. Castro wants it up. Giles misses his spot by plenty. It almost cost him a double down the line. Castro wanted that fastball inside and up out of the strike zone.
Go back there.
I think he'd love to see it up and in, but he's got a knee buckling curveball, and there it is. Good stop by Castro, because he saved 90 feet twice. And a big difference on a base hit if it can plate 2 instead of just 1.
Giles and Abreu tangling with 2 on, 2 out. Huge gap in left center, still there for a Jose. 1-2. Here it comes. To left center. And Abreu plucks it in. Saladino comes home. It's 5-3.
Giles got that one over the middle of the plate and down. And Jose with his second hit and second run driven in. That's the curveball that doesn't do a whole lot. In a perfect spot, which was vacated because of that severe shift into the opposite field. Saladino scores easily. And now the tying run on base, carried by Jose Abreu.
And Todd Frazier, the hitter, who is 1 for 2 with a run scored. Frazier, a huge rip. Nothing in 1. 2 on, 2 out. Frazier lays off. His eye has been very discerning tonight.
That was tantalizing, and yet another run scored in the 7th. McEwing with a short conversation with Adam Eaton, who's getting a good secondary lead, looking for one of those hooks down in the dirt. It's going to be an outside fastball.
Oh, he missed by an entire plate.
Giles is missing his spots badly, and this shows you where Castro wants it and where Giles throws it.
Eaton at third, Abreu at first. 2-1 to Frazier. Giles got it by him. 2-2.
That time he did hit his spot. Castro wanted the fastball away, and he got it there.
Frazier awaits. 2-2 from Giles with 2 down. The pitch up and out. 3-2.
Big advantage now because Jose is going to be going, and the question Valbuena is looking into the dugout. Do they hold him on? Well, representing the tying run, you want to shorten that lead as much as you possibly can, so they have Valbuena holding him close at first.
Chicago stands 3-2. Giles to Frazier. Fly ball, left center field. Rasmus secures it. Sox do get a run on a couple of hits off of Giles. 5-3 after 7th.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's our Miller moments. And they haven't been particularly good moments as Colby Rasmus takes Matt Latos for a long ride to right center field over the bullpen. And then Jason Castro follows suit. He drives one out of the park also. Those 2 solo home runs, the difference in this 5-3 game, are Miller moments.
By the way, if you're watching on DVR, as Avila comes in for Navarro, who was pinch run for, rewind that a little bit. Rasmus pelted a fan in the head with his home run. Somebody wasn't looking and caught a coconut baseball.
That's not a real good thing, especially being that far from the plate and still getting hit.
Kemp takes a ball. Left-handed left fielder Tony Kemp.
Now this guy can bunt. That's a big part of his game. With that in mind, Todd Frazier is in at the cut of the grass, off the line at third.
Well, talking to some Astros folks, part of the reason Tony Kemp's up is he's more of a contact guy. He was about even walks and strikeouts in AAA, and the Astros have been so free swinging they could use one more of those cats in the lineup.
They love the fact that he does use the whole field and gives him such great speed, especially when you hit him in the ninth spot, because he's coming up after Castro, so he's got good speed. When he leads off an inning like he's doing here, you roll right from Kemp to Altuve and Springer, so you have some guys who can run, and this gives you a tremendous advantage late in the ball game when you're looking for an add-on run or two.
3-0, Kemp taking ball 4.
Leadoff walk. Very difficult. And there you see Richie Dower, the first base coach, former teammate of mine with Baltimore Orioles.
What's the book on Richie?
Well, I'll let the Hall of Fame manager Earl Weaver, using his words, he said to him, "Didn't you have the home run record at Southern Cal?" And Richie Dower said, "Yes, I did." He said, "Well, what happened to you? You can't hit the ball out of the infield now." Because he became a ping hitter in the major leagues. Good man, good contact, did not hit for power.
Well, this guy does both. Altuve 3 for 4, including an RBI ground out.
Doing the breakdown on his swing, and I know you're very familiar with launch angle, but that's what's really improved and allowed Altuve to hit the ball out of the park these days.
Do you say launch angle or lunch angle?
Maybe a little bit of both. But right now, the angle that Jennings is throwing the fastball is something cause for concern for Alex Avila. The pen is up and going. And it is Will Harris, another guy we saw last night with very good stuff. Harris came on for an inning with a couple of strikeouts and a perfect inning, and here's Don Cooper.
Well, Will Harris has the longest scoreless inning streak in the majors right now at 17 1/3. So now you get rid of Giles, and here comes maybe the best relief pitcher in baseball right now. So good luck with that, say the Astros.
So after 6 straight bad ones, Don Cooper is giving him some words of encouragement.
Altuve, who since 2011 has led the majors in batting average against left-handed pitching. Coming into this season, he was .353 since 11, from 11 to 15 against left-handers.
And the description of Altuve was a few years back, he was a pretty good player on a bad team, so he made the All-Star team. Then the last couple of years, he's been a very good player on some improving teams. And this year, he has become one of the league's best players on a vastly improved ball club, although Houston off to that slow start. Meanwhile, 3-0 and 7 straight bad ones for Dan Jennings.
He's got a strike, 3-1.
Well, now with the lead, A.J. Hinch can do this because he's got a guy up that if it's a strike, he will make contact. And you might see a hit and run, trying to stay out of a double play. Altuve's hit into 4 of them.
3-1 from Jennings. Runner holds, no matter. Ball 4. 2 on, nobody out for Springer.
Matt Perk loosening in the pen. Recently recalled to give Robin another left-handed option. He was throwing last night, but didn't find his way into the ball game. Last night it was Rodon, Jones, Duke, Putnam, Robertson, who threw 2 beautiful innings last night, and then Matt Albers.
So Springer, who has a single last time up. I mean, you look at what the Sox bullpen did in the first month of the season at 169. Again, that is hugely successful. And recently that has changed. Frazier at third. Fair ball. Could be 3. My goodness. They did it again. For the second time this year, the Sox turn a triple play. Unreal. Throw those odds out the window. To turn 2 triple plays in 1 year.
But this is just a routine 5-4-3 triple play, and it was out of the 8th inning. So we've got Will Harris coming in the ball game, and there's a man that started the thrice killing.
Come from the Renaissance era.
Harris on for the 19th time.
He faces Melky first, and strike 1. Well, you can feel the energy in the building from that triple play.
Well, hopefully it translates into some offense as Melky's going to lead it off. He's had a very good night.
Bounced it foul, 0-2. Melky with an RBI triple, a single, and a ho-hum double play in the first. I mean, double plays look boring now with
moribund.
Yeah. Well, a little less. 0-2. Ball's hit hard and foul, and Adam Hamari with some high hurdles over at first. Well done.
Well, he saw the life of his ankles flashing before his eyes, because if that gets a piece of him on a very cold night, he's not going to be a happy man. So we'll take a look at the line drive, and there is Adam Hamari. Cat-like reflexes.
I'll tell you what, his right hand almost touched his right foot. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Fades outside, ball and 2 strikes on Melky. Can the Sox make it a full comeback tonight? They have a run in the 6th and a run in the 7th.
Just barely able to stay alive, and that was a good piece of hitting because that breaking ball was well out of the zone, and Melky, who was fooled by the pitch, was still able to get part of the bat on it. Not quite sure how he did it, but he fouled it off his own leg. Actually hit that ball on the bounce, it looked like.
Ichiro-like, or
yeah,
Vlad
by the way, if
Guerrero.
it winds up a base hit, it is a base hit. You can hit it off the bounce, and the ball will be in play.
Nice pitch, got him low portion of the zone, strike 3.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it could be none other than this. 5, 4, and by a step, 3. And the greatest part about this, but for a bad call in Toronto, there would have been 3 triple plays this year. You might remember, Baltimore rather, you might remember the grab at second base on the leg, not called.
Is that Manny Machado?
Manny Machado, yeah. He grabbed Brett Lawrie, and it went uncalled because the rule in the book talks about a double play, not a triple play.
That's one of the technicalities. The other one is, at this point, there's been talk about MLB changing the rule. That's not the case. It hasn't changed this year. But one of the rules is, and Lawrie was the one involved in it, that there needs to be a play over at first. The defender needs to be engaging in a play on a runner, and the umpires said Lawrie was not engaging in a play on the runner at first.
I think it became a little tougher to engage in it after the man reaches out and grabs you. So, I mean, that's just me, but anyway, 2 triple plays in the first month and a half of the season is pretty impressive. 3 would be a touch ridiculous, but he came very close to getting that 3rd.
2-1. In the air foul, 2-2 on Lawrie.
See the defensive replacements. Corey Rasmus has shifted over to left, and Jake Marisnik in center field.
On the ground, Correa. By the way, oddly enough, the Phillies turned those 2 triple plays in 2007, the last team to turn 2 in 1 year. Jimmy Rollins was not involved in either of those. One went Greg Dobbs to Chase Utley, and one went Abraham Nunez to Chase Utley to Wes Helms. That is Phillies Hall of Fame stuff right there.
And for not being involved in those, he won the MVP, didn't he?
He did.
It's just staying out of 2 triple plays if you're a middle infielder is a good trick.
In the TV world, they say let it breathe. 2 out for Avi Garcia in a 5-3 game. Fouled away.
Avi's seen a steady diet of fastballs in on his hands.
Ball and a strike on Avi Garcia, who's 1 for 8 in the series. Sox trying to flip the lineup card over again and get it back to the top, which has been pretty successful today. One and 2.
That was 92 upstairs. He threw it by him. Will Harris, who went to LSU, pretty amazingly did not pitch until his senior year. Don't see guys in the major leagues too often who took that type of path.
Frozen, strike 3 down the middle. 1-2-3 inning for Harris, who continues the major league's longest scoreless streak.
Sox upcoming schedule brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. So the Astros here for the series finale tomorrow. Then the Royals come in for 3 over the weekend, and it's on to the Indians, who will be here for a doubleheader on Monday and 2 more on Tuesday and Wednesday to close out the 10-game homestand. Our upcoming schedule as we head into the top of the 9th.
Early, really pivotal series there with Cleveland and Kansas City coming in. Homecoming weekend as well, as Correa wraps it to first, and he is dispatched. Are you going to wear your homecoming crown to homecoming weekend?
The homecoming weekend, it should be nice to see a few of those folks come back and delight the fans.
Lance Johnson, Roberto Hernandez, Tim Raines. Among others later on in the weekend as well. Rasmus takes a strike. Jack McDowell as well. I knew there was one more. Blackjack will be here.
And the Sox, who have played only 8 games in the Central, will entertain Central foes.
Couple weekend series coming up with Kansas City. One on the road as well. You'll be off getting your barbecue fix.
And Kansas City won the first game of a doubleheader with Boston. They're trailing the second game in the bottom of the 8th, 5-1. They won the first game 3-2.
And many thanks from Sox fans to the Cincinnati Reds for making a 7-5 lead with 1 out in the 9th not stick.
As they head to the 11th in Cincinnati, the Tribe and the Cincinnatians.
Two and 2 on Rasmus. Les Nessman calling that game locally.
Yeah, could very well be.
Venus flytrap. There's Gregerson, who we saw last night.
And Tony Sipp was the man who actually eventually got the save in that one, his first save of the year.
Rasmus goes down hunting against the left-hander. Dan Jennings has a strikeout.
So this ball sweeps away. Good slider out of the zone. And Rasmus missing that one by plenty. So one more, turn it over to the offense.
8, 9, and 1 scheduled up for the Sox in the home 9th. Bounded foul by Gaddis.
Last night, Gregerson came on, pitched an inning, gave up 1 run on 3 hits.
It was the bottom of the order that got to him in the 9th. Austin Jackson doubled against him. Saladino, the sacrifice fly to tie the game. And in the middle, that bizarre bunt single for Carlos Sanchez, where Jose Altuve was covering 5th base down the right field line.
And in talking about it, they had a meeting at the mound, and A.J. Hinch said, okay, what do you guys want to do in the infield? And they told him. And Altuve then said, I'm going to cover first base.
Marwin Gonzalez, you get the ball.
And you go get the ball.
This has hit a long way into stands that are not in fair territory.
So as we saw in the ball game, Altuve did what he said he was going to do. He broke to first base. Gonzalez did get the ball on the bunt. And Altuve said, I don't know, I locked up. I couldn't get to the bag. And he was about 6 to 8 feet in back of the bag when he made the catch.
Isn't it amazing? One of the best players in Major League Baseball knows exactly what he wants to do and just ends up 7 steps behind first.
Not doing it.
Tremendous talent, Jose Altuve. 6 multi-hit games his last 10. MVP type numbers so far this year.
And he's been the face of the franchise for a while.
Called strike 3. Right around the knees. Jennings back-to-back strikeouts, and he hands it back to the offense, trailing by 2 with 3 outs to go.
It's a 2-run ball game as we head into the bottom of the 9th, and their closer, Luke Gregerson, comes on. And there's a look at Luke. On for the 18th time. He has not allowed a home run. That's the best part of what has been his closing role this year. He follows Pfister, who went 6 1/3, Giles for 2/3, Harris for a scoreless inning. And now Gregerson, as the fans,
The rally blanket.
yeah, on a chilly night, looking for at least 2. And more importantly, tie it up before you win it.
Avila first in his first at bat tonight. Navarro went 2 for 3, pulled for a pinch runner. Saladino scored in that 7th inning, the last run that crossed so far tonight. Gregerson and Avila together. Ball 1.
Gregerson does have a pretty decent sinker. He's not overwhelming, doesn't have the stuff of Giles or Harris, but he's been very reliable over the years. Was used as a terrific setup man originally with San Diego.
Outside 2-0 from the local product, Gregerson. Born in Park Ridge, went to high school at Morton.
Alex Avila, one of those guys that is not going to help him out. If he doesn't throw strikes, he's going to put him on first base.
2-0. Now ball 3.
Austin Jackson in the on-deck circle. Then the lineup rolls over to the top. There you look at the career numbers of Gregerson.
Guy who walked 10 all of last year in 64 games has walked 5 in 17 this season. Strike called, 3-1. Make him throw one more.
No, I think if it's in the zone, you gotta swing at it. They're playing with a slight shift.
He wanted to hold up. It's 3-2.
That ball dipped out of the zone, and he expanded that zone. Started to go after it. There was some severe sink on this one. how much he can do when you start that far.
Alex knew it. 3-2. Leadoff man in the 9th. Avila. Ground ball, Gregerson. 1 down. Here's Austin Jackson. Don't forget, series finale coming tomorrow, 7:10 start time. We're back here on Comcast Sportsnet. McHugh versus Sale before the Royals come to town Friday through Sunday. It's a low strike.
Chris Sale will be going after win number 9 in this just his 9th start of the year.
A visit to our microphone back behind home, 1-1.
That's what it looks like tomorrow. Colin McHugh, who won 19 games last year, off to a 4-3 start this year, but a high ERA. Opponent's hitting just 167 against Chris Sale.
1-1. Angles in for a strike, 1-2. Better stuff tonight for Gregerson so far?
He appears to, although, I mean, you can't. You start your swing, you have to go around on it, but he did throw one out of the zone. Alex helped him out. That's a big difference maker in this inning.
End of the bat for Jackson. Rasmus, who moved over with Marisnik into the game, and 2 out. 1 out to play with. Eaton, then Rollins. Adam has reached 3 times tonight. On base percentage over 400. Got to get on here to prolong the rally. 2 out, nobody on. Ball 1.
He's never had a hit against Luke Gregerson. Small sample size, just 5 at bats.
Ball and a strike. The game tonight has seen neither team score more than 1 run in any half inning. Astros with 1 in the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's held up so far. 1-2 on a dancing breaking ball to Eaton. A.J. Hinch and the Astros trying to put it away. 1-2. Fouled by Eaton.
Nice job of staying alive. He threw a slider, had the plate. Identical to the 2nd pitch of the sequence.
One and two. Down he goes. Astros have taken the series. Back-to-back wins for Houston and Chicago.
Well, unfortunately, the offense just wasn't there. The opportunities were. The Sox stranded 7. They had golden opportunities in the first, came away with only 1 after the first 4 reached base. Another big opportunity in the 6th, but it wasn't to be, as Pfister was better than Latos, and perfect season so far for Matt Latos. Came to an end. So a good baseball team that started slowly, playing pretty good in this series. The Houston Astros will get a whole lot better, and our Sox have got to put some more runs up.
Astros go to 17-24. Sox down to 24-16, still leading the Central. So for our director Jim Angio, producer Mike Leary, associate producer Dave Ross, and tech manager Mark Harper, and the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. So long from U.S. Cellular Field. Coming up next, Subaru post-game live with Chuck and Bill. In-game scoring provided by Stats. You have been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Astros win tonight 5-3.